Alright, guys, make sure you follow along with me as we do this map together. Okay? Now let's get started. North and South map. We're going to start by drawing the border between the Union and the Confederacy. Okay? So I'm going to... Actually, let's use the highlighter for this. Make it black. We'll do this one. Okay. So, the border. Alright? We're going to start down here. Come on, man. And go up. Okay. Texas around here. Just like that. Okay. Follow me. Make sure you're following along. Up. Around Virginia. Just like that. So that's the border. Right? In the south here, that's the Confederate States of America. All right, so I'm going to go C. Come on. CSA, okay, like that. And then I'm just going to draw an arrow up. Okay, that's the Confederate States of America, right? The South, the Confederacy during the Civil War. This is the part of the United States that secedes, that leaves the U.S. to fight the Civil War, right? Okay? So then up here to the north, right, is the United States, right? That's the U.S. So I'm just going to draw like this. I'm going to do USA, like that. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to draw another border. Okay, because now we're going to outline the slave states that stayed in the north, that didn't join the Confederacy. Okay, so this right here, Missouri, was a slave state, right? It never left the United States, right? But it still allowed slavery. Same thing, okay, Kentucky, and then West Virginia, and then Maryland and Delaware. Okay, so anything within the red here still allowed slavery, even though it never left the United States. Right? Slavery was still allowed here. So now let's get into the actual states. Right, the actual states. So let's go in here, right, and let's label Texas. Oh, that's very wide. Okay, Texas. Then right next to it is Louisiana, right, and I'm gonna abbreviate it, right, LA. That's the abbreviation for Louisiana. Okay, and then to the north of that, you got Arkansas. I'm just going to make the abbreviations again. Okay, got Arkansas. Then we got Mississippi in here, M-I-S, right, Mississippi. Then you got Alabama right next to it. Then down here, Florida. Florida. Let me go over this again because it's kind of hard to see. C-S, all right, Confederate States of America. But anyway, okay, back to the states. You got Florida, also in the Confederacy, also in the South. Let's go back up here to Georgia. All right, GA, got Georgia there. Then you got South Carolina, right? Then you got North Carolina, okay? All part of the Confederacy. Then you had the home state of the Confederacy, Virginia. Right? This is where Virginia, this is where the capital of the South was. Right? The capital, Richmond. And then you also have in here, the smallest of the slave states, right? This one in here, right? That's Maryland. Okay, that's Maryland. And then this little guy in here, right, that's Delaware. Okay? So you got Maryland and Delaware in there, right in there. And then, right, we had outlined already the slave states that stayed in the U.S. Now we're going to label them, right? So you got Delaware. Then in here, you got West Virginia. West V, right? Again, this is a slave state that stayed in the United States, right, and never seceded to the South. West Virginia. Then you got Kentucky, right, in here. Okay, let's label Tennessee. We never labeled that one. Okay, but it's right in here. This one is in the South, right? This one did leave the United States. And then the other slave state, Missouri. Okay, right in here. All right? Okay, so now you have the slave states labeled that stayed in the U.S., right? They're ones outlined in red. And then you have the entire Confederacy. All right, so now let's label what was still the United States of America. Let's start off with California, right? CA in there. Then Oregon, right? Not Washington, because Washington's not a state yet in this time period. And I'm going to make an outline here for these two states. Right? This is the United States of America. Okay. Then we got Minnesota. Okay, so let's do Min, right, in there, that's Minnesota. All right, then we got Iowa to the south of it. Iowa in there. Okay, then we got Wisconsin. I'm just going to do W-I-S, right, abbreviation, bam. Then we got Illinois. Okay, Illinois, right in here. Then we got its neighbor, Indiana. I'm going to do I-N-D, Indiana. Then its other neighbor, Ohio. Then to the north of it, you got Michigan. Okay. Then Pennsylvania. I'm going to do Penn, right? Just like that, Pennsylvania. Then let's zoom in on New Jersey. I'm going to draw an arrow, right? This in here is New Jersey. New Jersey. Then to the north of it, New York. N-Y, right? New York. And then last but not least, for the states at least, right? I'm going to draw a border around this region. Right, this region here. Okay. We're not going to label each of these states individually, right? We're just going to label it as the New England region, which it is, right? It is the New England region, right? That way you know, right, when someone talks about New England, they're referring to this part of the northeastern states, right? Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Rhode Island. That's New England, all right? So let's highlight the northern border of the United States. All right, like this, comes down, border with Canada, of course, right? Comes up, bam, right? And then comes down here, right? And borders this state. Borders the slave states, right? That's the United States. Right, and then let's label in here, last but not least, right, Kansas, right in here. Kansas, also part of the U.S. even though it bordered the South, right, and bordered a slave state, right? It was still part of the United States. This Kansas never leaves, right? Kansas never leaves. Then we got all this stuff out west, right? The unorganized territory. This belongs to America, right? All this belongs to America, but it is not organized yet, right? It's not been made into states. All right, so all of that in here is the Western unorganized territory, right? Right in there. Okay? Of course, later it's going to become states, right? We know that, but right now it's still unorganized. And then let's go in here, zoom in on this part. This is where the Indians were relocated, right? So right now, it's still Indian territory. Remember the Trail of Tears, all the Indians, especially the Cherokee, had to be resettled here. Right? So Oklahoma, right now, is technically Indian land. Right? And then up here, right, it's Canada, right? But this is what I'm talking about, British North America. British N.A., right? The British own Canada. And then, of course, right, Mexico, it's already written there, so just circle it, right? Mexico. And then, bam, there you go. Right, once you have that, right, please go ahead and turn in